About 10 blocks away from the White House in downtown D.C., there's a nice hotel called the Renaissance. It's one of those hotels where if you look out your window, depending on where you are in the hotel, you can see into nearby buildings because they're all bunched together in that one spot. One morning in July 2008, a group of school teachers going to a conference at that hotel, they looked out, they looked across the way into the building next door, and what they saw, I don't quite know how to say this, was a man having a good time alone with himself. They saw a man in a conference room, they say, across the way, in stages of undress, engaged in what ought to have been a private moment. They saw that Monday morning, again Tuesday morning, again Wednesday morning, this same man in a glass conference room across the alley, carrying on with himself. Well, that building that those teachers were looking into, that happens to be a government office building. It's offices for the Department of Veterans Affairs. And the man in the conference room who was allegedly behaving like that in the window was discovered to be a top VA official at the time. He was the agency's deputy inspector general. Based on CCTV and interviews with those teachers, federal investigators reportedly determined that this was the naked guy in the conference room. I say reportedly because this new information comes from a federal government report that was obtained by the Daily Caller website. We have verified with the agencies involved that this report exists, but the Daily Caller's headline here basically tells you everything you need to know, even the parts I won't say. According to the report that they say they obtained, although surveillance video led investigators to that specific VA official, the man vehemently denied any wrongdoing at the time. He said witnesses in the hotel were mistaken. That said, he did ultimately retire when confronted by the investigators. This was the Deputy Inspector General of the VA during the George W. Bush administration. The VA Inspector General's office told us today that although this investigation occurred more than 7 years ago, current leadership at the agency only recently became aware of the matter, which means the Bush administration did a heck of a job keeping that story out of the public domain for all these years after that guy lost that job for that particularly pantless reason, which is stunning. However, the George W. Bush era VA is apparently not to be outdone in this department by today's Department of Defense, which has just announced that it has officially reprimanded a 2-star Navy admiral for here's the headline. Admiral reprimanded for drunken naked escapade at Florida hotel. This incident was just reported now. It reportedly happened in April. The admiral in question was attending a conference with, naturally, defense contractors in Florida when he, quote, became so intoxicated at an upscale beachfront resort that he struck his head on a bar stool, wet his pants, and needed an escort back to his hotel room. Oh, but wait, there's more. After striking his head on a bar stool and wetting his pants and being helped back to his room, quote, a few hours later, still in a haze, the admiral reemerged from his room without any clothes on as his door automatically locked behind him. As the admiral stumbled around the grounds of the resort looking for a towel to wrap around his waist, he was spotted by 2 alarmed female guests who reported him to hotel security. Ta-da! At least this time, the report on the incident didn't get buried for 7 years. The Navy announced this week that this 2-star admiral has been transferred back to the Pentagon for some righteous desk duty. When it comes to covering the news, things that come in 3s are usually better than things that come in 2s. But between the drunken wetting his pants and then naked Navy admiral and the ousted exhibitionist naked VA official in the office window, here's one set of 2 stories where I'm really hoping there is no third. That does it for us tonight. We will see you again tomorrow.